I have so many books, my mom looked at me and said, "We need to get you a job." She was joking. She was joking. I want to make that clear. I do have a job. I actually have several jobs. Wah! Wah! My Johnny Bravo microphone is all the way over there, and yet I'm so loud that it's still reverbing. That's what's making that reverb. Sorry, the audio engineer in me took over. I have a lot of books, especially a lot of physical TBR now that my birthday has passed. And you know what? Summer is a great time for reading because I'm in such a great mood. I know a lot of people have the fall reading bug, and I do too, but I'm in such a good mood in the summer because I'm such a sunshine girl that I am in a bigger reading mood than possibly ever. I don't really do TBRs because I have ADHD, and so constructs and structure do not exist to me if they are not consistently in front of me. And even then, they are at the whim of my dopamine. Instead of having a strict TBR, I just want to talk to you about my summer hopefuls. Where to start? Mom, I'm scared. Now, there is sort of a caveat. I am not going to be mentioning the books that I am planning on reading in videos. So, whatever you're seeing here, triple that. Starting off with some library books that I currently have, so I better finish them. Hood Feminism. I started this a couple of days ago, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm loving the plain language of it. I am loving the points being made. I am loving the way it's expanding my brain. Yeah, I want to finish it. That's another thing to say. Some of these I'm already in the middle of reading, or I've started reading, so I just need to commit, which, with Chey, is a problem except for when it comes to the bit, so we'll see how that goes. The Compton Cowboys. The new generation of cowboys in America's urban heartland. I saw this in the library, and I said, how can I legally walk out without this? I'm like a chapter or so into it, and I am really enjoying this. This is a nonfiction, obviously. It's good. I hope to finish it alongside Hood Feminism within, like, the next week. Pride and Prejudice. Yes, girlies. I'm finally trying to become one of you. I read the first chapter. Not the biggest fan, but I'm not hating it. I think I just actually need to get further into the actual story instead of the setup. It's the writing so far that is just getting to me, which is saying something because I love classics, especially Dumas. I think it's just the 1800s, because also Wuthering Heights, I had to go through phases of reading it being like, what the f is going on, versus I understand everything because I want to be one of the girlies so bad. Also, it's just been a long time coming. It's a classic that I should have read a long time ago. Die Dark Volume 8. I am surprised that I have been holding myself chained up like a rabid dog to not read this yet. This is the new series by one of my favorite manga authors, Kihei Shida, the author of Dorohedoro. I absolutely love every volume that has come out in the series so far. Every single volume has been 5 stars. If you love kind of gritty manga, space adventures, but also goofy characters, goofy fun times, you should give their work a look. King of Scars. This has been haunting me on my TBR for so long because Nikolai, my love, that's exactly why I don't want to read it either, especially because I have friends that also love Nikolai who tried this and DNF'd it because they're like, if you love Nikolai, don't read it. But I own this and the special edition from Barnes & Noble, and so I think I just need to get it over with. I also own Rule of Wolves, so I think I just need to read it to actually have opinions on it, and because I miss my boy. And then, if I have to go back to writing my own fanfiction and my own canon, I will. Binding 13. This just feels like a summer romance to me, and sometimes the girl's gotta be sad. You know? A Closed and Common Orbit. This is the second book in the Wayfarers series. I almost said trilogy. It's not a trilogy. I haven't really been looking forward to reading this one, not because I don't love Becky Chambers. I love Becky Chambers. But I'm just not really interested in the characters that this book follows because I wasn't the biggest fan of one of them at the end of the first book. I was just like, I don't care. I liked you before. But I need to read it because I want to finish the rest of the series, so I'm going to commit to it. Nat is going to be my cheerleader for this, whether she knows it or not. Dead in Long Beach, California. This was a gift from Tiffany, and also, I think one of the lowest rated reads I have on Goodreads. And the premise seems so fascinating, and Tiffany said that it's weird horror, which is my thing. Dead in Long Beach, California just gives me summer vibes with the palm trees and the weirdness and summer horror. Speaking of death, Morbidly Yours. Again, another one that I have been foaming at the mouth looking at on my bookshelf wanting to read. So, and I'm in a romance mood, which never happens for me. Maybe it's because I'm single AF, but I just want a goofy, fun romance, okay? Yes, Chey, the book about Morbidly Yours with the guy that owns a funeral home is a goofy and fun time in the Chey universe. More goofy and fun romance! Lights out! Yeah, I'm finally gonna read it. I'm finally gonna get to it. The ghost face lover, the woman that has live, laugh, stab above her kitchen sink is finally gonna read this dark romance. I'm so excited for this because I love all the stuff that people make about it. It always makes me cackle. It's past time for me to experience this. I'm excited. Especially because I've been back in my ghost hyperfixation recently. Not just Ghostface, but like Ghost from Call of Duty, just because I've been getting recommended like funny artists like making their MVs and stuff for not MVs, but like AMVs. Not even AMVs, they're just making funny animatics. That's the word of them. And so I'm getting back into my fandom days. It's a good time. Did I start writing Call of Duty fanfiction just to feel something the other day? I don't want to talk about it. Too beautiful to break. I just finished Too Hard to Forget. Thank God it's over. This is the fourth book and final book in the Romancing the Clarksons by Tessa Bailey. Each book follows a different sibling. It starts out their mother passes away and she has one last wish for them, which is for them to like go on a road trip, go to New York, or for them to be together in New York on New Year's and jump into the river, do the ice plunge or whatever. And so they kind of just go on a road trip together. And the members of the family start falling in love along the way and getting dropped off the trip. I mean, that's just what happens. The third book followed the character I liked the least, and I have a lot of thoughts about it, which are gonna be in my whatever the hell I'm reading vlog that's gonna be up before this one, so you'll know. But I had to read that one. I guess I didn't have to read it to get to this one, but I wanted the context of it. And I didn't just want to be like, I hate this character, and so I'm gonna go with an uneducated opinion, be like, I'm not reading that book. I wanted to have the full context. I wanted to give it a chance. And I'm glad that I did. That way I can actually intelligently talk about it. And because it wasn't, it was kind of as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Peggy didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought. I ended up liking Peggy more, but I hated that. At least the first half of it. The first 3/4. But I finally conquered it to get to this book. The fourth and final book, which follows the character I am most excited to read about. Belmont, my beloved. Belmont and Sage. If this ends up sucking, I'm going to be so angry. Don't. I only own 3 of them too. I own the first, the second, and this one. I don't want to have to unhaul them. Tessa, don't do it. But Tessa commits so many crimes against the written word, yet sprinkles in some of the most beautiful dialogue I've ever read in my life. Black Sun Rising. This is a book that I'm in the middle of. I'm reading the paperback, and then I got the hardbacks of the entire series for my birthday, and I tried to transfer it in here, and I guess I took it back out. Anyway, I'm about halfway through this book, and I'm absolutely loving it. But now that I have the hardbacks, which are much more comfortable to read, I think that I'm going to fly through this first book, because Damien Rice, our MMC, has my entire heart. He is ruining my life. Yeah. It's like a sci-fi fantasy written in the 90s. It's kind of dystopian, but not really. You know, if you know Trigun, it's kind of like that sort of futuristic sci-fi fantasy. Like, they left Earth, and now they're on a different planet, and there's a whole society that is now, like, bound around the magic and religion that came up out of this place, involving the Fae and dark forces and the energy within the universe. It's wild, but look at this cover. It's amazing. I'm having such a good time with it. I'm loving it. Ernest Hemingway, The Dangerous Summer. This is a book that I picked up at my library sale, library student book sale that they have every Monday. I had never heard of it. And for a Hemingway fan, I'm disappointed in myself. But I have to read it in the summer, because it's literally called The Dangerous Summer. Let's look at those red top pages. How long has it been since you've seen one of those that wasn't part of the sprayed edge craze in the past 2-3 years? The Fall of the House of Cabal. This is the final book in the Johannes Cabal series, and I need to finish it out. I need to be brave. Really, I've been waiting to get all my annotating supplies together because I need to annotate this book as I'm going through it. Every book in this series has been 5 stars. This is my new favorite series. It's a very close runner-up to The Broken Empire, which you see that shrine up there? This is a close runner-up. I love Johannes and Horst. This series follows Johannes Cabal, as is named, and he's a necromancer of little infamy, who, if you like snarky, cold men that are kind of disasters, but have a very funny internal dialogue and dry, like, British humor. Like, if you like Python-esque kind of humor, but snarky, and a necromancer, try this series. The author, I believe, like, wrote for The Witcher, like the game The Witcher, I think. He did a lot of work with video games, but he's got a great sense of humor. I love it. Also, if you're a fan of Vonnegut, you'll probably like these books as well, because it's that kind of that satirical humor and language, the beautiful prose, the descriptions in this book. Let me just read you the first line, whatever it is, okay? The first line of the final book. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, boys and girls, and folk of all other persuasions. You're about to embark on an adventure wherein risks are taken and do not always succeed, where dangers haunt every decision, where stakes are high and the odds are long. You, at least, are in the happy position of not being in any personal peril during this tale, despite my suggestion to the publisher that 1 in 1,000 copies should be impregnated with dimethylmercury just to give a frisson to book purchasing. You can't just go around killing readers, they said. Not until you're selling more units anyway, they added. If that's your kind of humor, please, please, for the love of God, check out this series. There is not a big enough fandom of this series. I need merch. I need a cinematic universe. I love this series so much. Roofy Rufus. Stop, Chey. You're gonna spoil yourself. Stop it. We're gonna do a 2-for-1 deal here. Love on the Brain and funny story. 2, I'd say recently released romances, because within the past few years, that I am finally catching up on recent releases, and these 2 have been on my brain, no pun intended, for a long time. I love Emily Henry, one of my favorite authors. You can see Beach Read and Book Lovers over there. I just love her stuff. I think this is probably going to be the next work of hers that I'll love, so I'm eager to get to it. And this one, I just have a fun, goofy time with Allie Hazelwood. I don't care about the hate. I love it. I'm just here to turn my brain off and have some goofs and gaffs, okay? Is critical analysis important? Yes, absolutely. But sometimes, I don't want to. The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, aka the man who has ruined my life. And I started reading this from the library. I loved it, but my hold ran out, and then I got a copy for my birthday. It was actually the last copy at Half Price Books, and I said, give it here. I think everything that I've read by Stephen Graham Jones has been 5 stars, I think. Because, yes, I was a teenage slasher, and My Heart is a Chainsaw, and all the physical books that I own of his are all on my favorite shelf. And every book that he writes that I read just inspires me a little bit further to write a new horror story, or a new story in general. That's why I say he ruins my life. So if you ever read anything that I ever publish, especially, like, horror-related, you can blame him. But don't blame him, because he seems like a wonderful human being who writes wonderful books that you should absolutely check out and read. He's like, my friend M, my twin, we're always like, he seems like such a cool uncle to have. Stephen Graham Jones, if you happen to tune in, you want to go to a Bigfoot convention with me? There's one every year in Tennessee. You should go to it. Or you should check it out. At least. What consists of a hot dog? Now, I'm going to go onto my iPad, because I'm obnoxious, and I'm going to pull up my Libby app, and I'm going to tell you some of my library holds that I hope to get to. I'm not going to count the ones that I'm reading right now, such as Julie Chan is Dead, and Dark Lover and A Certain Hunger, and stuff like that. It kind of feels... Well, I guess they do count, because I told you some that I'm already reading, but most of these I am, like, already most of the way through. Whatever, I am reading A Certain Hunger, Dark Lover, The Funeral Ladies of Ellery County, The Distraction, Lock Every Door, The Black Tongue Thief, Sky Daddy, and Julie Chan is Dead. Those are the ones that I'm currently reading, so by the time this video goes up, they'll probably already be done, but I guess they're worth telling you about. Oh, Protecting Caroline. Okay, I have a new obsession with this military romance. Oh god, that sounds so gross in my mouth. But... the book that I read was so good. Like, the communication, the communication that was represented, the characters actually communicated with each other. I can't stand miscommunication. I don't like insta-love, personally, and the position that these characters were put into kind of made it insta-love, or insta-interest, I should say, because they weren't automatically like, oh my god, I'm in love with you. But what I love, it can work, and I know that insta-love happens, and I know that love happens of varying degrees and stuff like that. What I loved is that the book is Protecting Remy, by the way, and it's the first book in the Seal of Alliance series. What I love about how they communicate with each other, though, is that when they're starting to get interested in each other, they're like, yeah, it does seem kind of crazy that we've only known each other, like, for 48 hours, but we get along really well, and I really like you. I'd like to continue this. The fact that they acknowledge it out in the open, and that they can look at each other and be like, yep, yep, Okay. It makes it so much more believable and understandable. I love that. And it was at every step of the way. They looked at each other and they'd be like, it does seem kind of crazy to like anybody else that we are interested in each other this fast, like going on a date or, you know, like meeting the best friend or whatever. But they both talk about it and they consent to it. They communicate. What a concept to romance writers. And so I loved it. It was a fun time. I turned into someone I don't know. But I am also in that book. There's a character named Cheyenne who has a sense of humor similar to mine, and she's married to the Navy SEAL they call Dude. Chey coded. Chey AF coded. And guess what? I find out there's a book. She has a book in the series. There's a series this was the first book in the new series, and there's a previous series which follows like all the old guard, not like old, but like the original team members, like the cast of the team members and how they met their ladies, who I loved in this book when they showed up. So I'm starting from the beginning, which is Protecting Caroline, book 1. I'm gonna get to it this summer, but the thing is, before I read it, I'm going to finish up all my current library holds because I know that I'm going to hyperfixate on this series, and so I want to get stuff done first. I think I need to stop myself. There's a couple more that I can name, but I think I'm just being overzealous, and it's like, Chey, yes, we just want to read them. Doesn't mean that we want to read them this summer, and I think that's enough. Be sure to look for these videos in an upcoming whatever the hell I'm reading vlog, and we'll see if I can hold myself accountable. Maybe at the end of the summer, the season, I'll go back and do a video where I review this video and actually tell you, do an audit and see how many that I got read or what I'm in progress of. That could be fun. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Loved having you here. If you're new here and you want to stick around to see the chaos, if you want to stick around to hold me accountable and yell at me that I'm doing a terrible job and sticking to my word, or that I'm doing a great job and pat me on the head like a chicken nugget, hit that subscribe button down below and see what happens. I don't know. There's nobody behind you, so who cares? Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you ain't heard of anyone else today, I love you. Love and peace.